And so now on to our next laureate, who isn't an individual. Well, she is an individual, but she is representing a group of individuals who are also women. She represents an organization that happens to be run entirely by women in Mexico. It is known as Ambulante. Its goal is to support and promote documentary films in a way that stimulates social and cultural change. It's got an annual traveling film festival that takes interesting documentary films through to different places within Mexico, mostly for free. 60% of their activities are free. They go to libraries and university campuses and plazas, and you name it, places where they are rarely available. The film screenings that they put together are held in all of these different public spaces to encourage a debate, to encourage people to rethink local problems and issues of injustice and inequality. Their screenings are always followed by a Q&A session with local NGOs and the filmmakers. And in fact, the socio-political impact of Ambulante's work in Mexico has already been well established. Just last year, one of its screenings, one of its documentaries, directly impacted the cause of justice. So today, Ambulante is being honored for its dynamic and visionary commitment to documentary film as a means of raising awareness and finding solutions to social issues, for decentralizing and democratizing culture, for its creative production of consistently high-quality products, enabling Mexicans to better understand their own culture and the culture of people around them, and for using film, finally, to help people rethink existing ideas about current issues. It's a pleasure to now introduce Ambulante's director, Paulina Suárez.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Prince Claus, for this very generous platform. Thank you so much for being here tonight to listen to us. It's a pleasure here to be representing our founders, to be representing our team, to be representing all of the people that have collaborated with Ambulante throughout its 15 years of existence. So Ambulante is an organization based in Mexico City that promotes documentary cinema as a catalyst for social change. It was founded 15 years ago by Elena Fortes, Gael García Bernal, and Diego Luna. So this is how Ambulante began. Rewind back to 2005. It's early in the millennium. And it's nearly impossible to see a documentary film outside major urban centers or outside a few of the major festivals. Theaters did not program nonfiction media. Cinematheques and cineclubs were few and far between. And so documentaries were very hard to see. Also, they had a bad reputation. They were deemed boring. They were deemed just as nature films, really a minor form within the cinematographic landscape. So our founders saw this incredible film called Trópico de Cáncer, made by a documentary filmmaker, a Mexican documentary filmmaker called Eugenio Polgovsky. They saw it, they were incredibly excited by it, and they were propelled to share it with everyone in Mexico. So they sketched out an itinerant film festival model that sought to take film programs to different regions of Mexico and search for that wide and diverse audience that they were sure existed. And hence, Ambulante's Traveling Film Festival was born. So today, our festival travels to 8 states in Mexico. We show about 180 documentaries for 67 days. It's a long festival. And we're almost in 200 venues all over the country. So with the support and collaboration of 200 amazing volunteers, we're able to reach about 70,000 spectators. So our most emblematic screenings, I would say, are the open-air screenings in public spaces that provide really opportunity for audiences to discover new works. So our programs try to showcase the immense diversity of the documentary form. We show experimental works, we show transmedia formats. Our documentaries are in many different languages, including indigenous Mexican languages, and are made by filmmakers located all over the world. So from the beginning, the festival has been dedicated to its audience. It was a festival made for the public. We have understood documentary media through their experience. We have understood documentary through their gaze. And so the festival is just really dedicated to them. So our mission is to explore cinema's immense potential, to change perceptions, to challenge established narratives, and to find links of solidarity between us. We seek to raise awareness, of course, about civil and human rights issues, and to work with activists and non-profit organizations all over Mexico, and create meaningful public encounters in civic space that galvanize collective action, ideally. We travel to areas in Mexico that are undergoing a lot of violence or that have been through terrible histories of violence. And so our public screenings really mean a lot to us, and I think to our audiences as well, because they remind us that we can trust one another. They create these spaces of trust, and that we can have a collective experience that is nonviolent, that is peaceful, and that it's propelling and transformative. So we leverage cinema as a response to controversy, we leverage cooperation as a response to crisis, and try to build communities in the face of conflict and divisiveness. For us, documentary cinema is political in many ways. It is political as a sensory and effective medium that also provides pleasure in times of crisis, that gives us back our imagination, our history, our memory. Today, Ambulante is more than a film festival. We founded in 2010 a traveling film school that goes to different regions of Mexico and provides tools and training to young people in indigenous, Afro-descendant, and rural communities in Mexico in documentary filmmaking. We have also go to Guatemala, and we have a school in Colombia now as well. And since the program began, we have trained 140 incredible young people. So it's a year-long program that establishes itself in these different regions. We really think it requires that much time to provide filmmaking tools, mentorship, and a network to young people so that they may have this skill throughout their entire lifetime. Also, Ambulante Beyond is grounded in the principles of non-extractivism, and social justice. So we believe that the stories that are told in a particular community should be made by the filmmakers of that community, and that this sense of rootedness, this particular vision, is central to the craft and key also to diversifying our documentary ecosystem. So social justice is not merely a topic that appears on the screen, but it's a model of teaching, it's a model of learning, and it's a model of film production for us and for Ambulante Beyond, the film training program. Finally, we started doing impact campaigns. In the last 2 years, we launched campaigns around particular human rights issues and social issues that really seek to harness the transformative potential of documentary cinema, to use it more strategically, to really create the structural change that we want. This is one of the campaigns we did. It's around a documentary called Armed to the Teeth. These are the parents of a student that was killed, one of 2 students that were assassinated by the military in Mexico. That's the director and the producer. And with the documentary, with about 1,000 screenings, social events, activations in different areas of Mexico, we were able to gather enough social pressure so that the state felt forced to give a formal apology to the parents of the students for the extrajudicial execution of Jorge and Javier. So this is a moment where we really felt the transformative capacity of cinema, and we want to keep using it that way. We're incredibly grateful to our volunteers, our audiences. We feel very lucky to form part of Mexico's very thriving and dynamic documentary film community. And so thank you for listening to us tonight and presenting a little bit of this work. Thank you.